Taurus. This is your reading for the period of the new moon on September 9 in Virgo to the full moon on September 24 in Pisces. While I'm shuffling, I'd like you to just set aside anything that you're doing and take a couple of deep breaths to relax, let go of any tension. Exhale deeply. Focus all your attention right here. Make a connection with your higher self and your guides, and ask them to reach out to my higher self and to my guides so that we can create a feedback loop of information specific to you so that you can get really clear messages from this reading. The Empress reversed, crossed by the Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Seven of Pentacles reversed, Two of Cups, Nine of Cups, Wheel of Fortune reversed, Eight of Cups, the Emperor reversed, the Magician reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed, Seven of Cups reversed, Seven of Swords reversed, upright, and the Nine of Pentacles. Cool. The bottom of the deck you have the World in the reverse. So there's a really interesting mix here of cards of the major and the minor arcana, upright and reversals. And the energy I'm getting off of the cards right away, the first thing that's jumping out at me is that what it looks like here is that you've made a decision to turn away from something or someone, a person it would probably be, who you have been feeling really connected to, and someone that you care about deeply and you've put a lot of effort into. You've made a lot of attempts, you've put a lot of energy in, you've been extremely nurturing to the relationship, you've taken a lot of the responsibility for the dynamic between you. And even though you still love and care deeply about that person, that hasn't changed at all. But what has changed is that it seems like you've made the realization that the energy that you've been putting in is not being met by the other person. And so you've made the decision to just take care of you. And what I love here is these two nines in the upright position, showing up in the position of the outcome and also the position of you. Nine of Pentacles and Nine of Cups, both beautiful, powerful symbols of independence, of self-love, of self-containment, of fulfillment, and it just basically a sense of like clarity and independence within you. And as I said, these two cards are showing up here in the position of your energy. This quadrant here represents you and your energy. This quadrant represents your environment or energy around you. And this card here is obviously the outcome position, along with these two cards here. So as I said, there's this, like at the beginning I said, there was this interesting mix of reversals and upright cards, along with major and minor arcana. It's almost like two opposites here, right? Like on one side you've got that relationship, the Two of Cups, and as you can see here, even though this card is in the position that's from the recent past kind of coming into the reading, it's still in the upright position, the Two of Cups. Here's the Nine of Cups showing your fulfillment, yourself. This is the relationship, this is you. And like I'm saying, this card is still in the upright position. It's not that you don't love that person. It's not that you don't still care about them. And it's not that you want to abandon the relationship either. It's more just a realization that you've been putting in a lot more energy than the other person has, and you haven't been being reciprocated. So it's time to just like, and even though obviously there's pain there because there's so much love, but this is just a practical moment of realization of like, time to flip the script here and just take care of yourself, because even though you've been putting in so much energy into this relationship, into this person, and even though they love you, it's just a lack of self-awareness on their part. You know, they've got the Seven of Cups here in reverse with the Emperor reversed. That's what I feel like this person's energy is the Emperor reversed, along with the Magician reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed. So that says to me that this person is not stable, is not grounded, does not have a solid foundation, doesn't have a grip on his or her earthly domain. They don't necessarily have like stability in their work life or in their finances or in their home life. It seems like this person is kind of immature. That's what the Page of Pentacles is saying. In Page of Pentacles in the reverse position, it says this person he's trying, she's trying. This person may seem like on the outside genuinely giving effort, and maybe they even believe themselves too that they're giving fully genuine effort. But the truth is that they're not really aware of themselves enough to understand that they're not channeling energy correctly. That's what the Magician reverse is saying. They are not channeling energy correctly, and it's because they are not really honestly looking at themselves. And then I'll get to these cards down here at the base of the reading so that I can explain that better. I didn't touch on the Seven of Cups, but basically that's this Emperor reversed with the Seven of Cups reversed. As I was saying, this Emperor reversed here, this person doesn't have a solid foundation. They don't really have a grip over their personal domain. They may not have their work sorted out. They may not have their living environment sorted out. They have the potential to do so. That's why the Emperor is showing up here. This person has the potential to seriously rock their own world. But in the reverse position, there's no foundation. And that's because they're not looking at themselves with clarity and honesty. Seven of Cups reversed. Also Seven of Swords here. This person is not honest. They're not honest to themselves, and therefore they cannot be honest to others around them and the people that they're relating to. There's 3 sevens here in this reading. And the sevens to me are very, very much cards of, you know, the spiritual warrior, the personal journey, the journey of the warrior, spiritual growth. But they're also very challenging. The sevens can be quite challenging. So I'll just repeat. You have Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles at the foundation of the reading in the reverse. This is the card, when I was speaking earlier about you putting in more energy than this other person has. That's what I'm talking about here. You've been investing. You've been investing time. You've been investing energy. You've been investing money. You've been investing all kinds of resources into this relationship, into this project. You might not everyone who's watching this is going to be dealing with a person, but it could be a project where your investment in this person may not come to anything. Not at this point right now anyway. Perhaps in the future things could turn around and you have the Wheel of Fortune here in reverse. But at this moment, it's clearly indicating here that the effort you've been putting in is not being matched. So as I was saying in the beginning, even though the Two of Cups is here and it's still in the upright position, it's not that you don't love this person. It's not that you want the relationship to end, but you realize that you need to make a change in your own direction to take care of you more, because this person doesn't have the resources, he doesn't have the wherewithal, she or he doesn't know how to take care of themselves, so they don't really have the energy to put into you. So you've got to just take care of yourself right now and understand that this is about self-love right now. The individual that you're dealing with needs to take time to look at themselves. And perhaps the Queen of Swords here is showing up here in the crowning position, because this is showing me that you are the one in this situation who has the clarity. And being that you're in the crowning position of your own reading, I'm saying here that it could be up to you to be the one to communicate what you see, because I feel like the other person that you're dealing with doesn't understand. They don't really see. They're not aware of themselves, because perhaps there's some self-deception going on, clearly, with the Seven of Swords. They're so good at deceiving that they don't even realize themselves that they're not being honest, because their deception is so good that they believe it too. You know, that's the Magician as well in the reverse. This is the misappropriation of power and energy. It's deceiving. It's manipulative. It's twisted. And it can be really, really subtle too. It can sometimes take a really long time to realize the actual situation that's going on, because on the surface everything looks nice. It looks polite. This is a nice person. They're a good person. You care about them. But it could take some time to actually uncover the levels of misappropriation that's actually going on. Now at the center of the reading you have the Empress reverse crossed by the Knight of Pentacles. And I just think that, I mean, as I said, you have the Nine of Pentacles upright for yourself with the Queen of Swords. I think these two cards are you, along with the Nine of Cups upright. But in the center of the reading with the Empress reverse crossed by the Knight of Pentacles, it just indicates to me that, you know, like the fertility of the situation, or the potential of the situation as you may have seen it in the past, this is the turning point with the ten of the Wheel of Fortune from the Major Arcana in reverse. This is the point where you realize you need to shift gears. Things are not as they have appeared. Crossed by the Nine of Pentacles. This just says to me that you've put in a lot of energy and you've been incredibly patient. And maybe you have known before now that like this is what's going on, but maybe you've been so willing to put in effort and continue investing and trying, you know. But I think you've come to this point now where you realize that this person needs to get it on their own. You've been showing so much love, and you've been showing so much support and so much patience and so much willingness to guide and mentor and help this person. And maybe you have felt in the past even a little bit taken advantage of, but because you cared so much and you saw the long-term potential in this person, you saw the potential of this relationship, you saw the potential of this person, you see this person as someone very powerful, but now you've come to realize that it's not sustainable to keep putting energy in. It's time for you to withdraw. Doesn't mean the relationship has to be over. It could mean that it's time for you to communicate something very clearly, with the Queen of Swords here. That's your decision. But I feel like if you just withdraw without communicating, it could be very confusing for the other person. So it could be that, you know, and it's not necessarily fair that you're the one that has to always be the person that comes first forward to communicate, but clearly this person is not as aware as you are of what's going on, of the general situation and the energy that's playing out. So bring as much compassion and kindness and clarity as you can to the communication that you need to share, but do make sure that it comes from the heart and it is very clear and direct. Don't be deliberately hurtful with what you say, but just come from a neutral space and share what you see, and offer that person the chance to come clean and be honest to you, so that you can actually continue to work together if that's what you both want. But if you come forward and share communication and share what you see and describe what you're feeling and seeing from a higher perspective, from the position of the ultimate observer, from the position of someone who can see weird stuff playing out, you know, like patterns playing out, not from the place of a hurtful, you know, damaged person, but from the position of the ultimate observer. And if you can share that with this person and see how they respond to you, if they reciprocate in a way that helps you feel like this person's actually willing to put the work in, then you can go forward. But if you share what you see from a neutral, loving, compassionate, clear place, not from a blunt, cutting, you know, hurting place, because that won't actually get you the chance to go forward. But if you can come from a place that's really compassionate, from the heart, from the third eye, from clarity, from divine guidance and wisdom and compassion and love, give this person the chance to see themselves through your eyes and see what it is that they need to make a shift in themselves in order to heal, in order to help resolve the energy imbalance that's playing out in the relationship, then there's a chance that you can keep moving forward. So give them that chance. Even if you feel like you've been saying it, you've been communicating, you've been on, you've been taking care, you've been providing, you've been supporting, you've been patient, even if you feel all those things are true, and they probably are. There's a certain level of divine timing playing out here where, yeah, the World card at the bottom of the deck in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse. There is a level here of some old karmic stuff. Yeah, Knight of Swords and the Death reversed here as well. There is a level of some kind of karmic, you know, I'm just looking for the right word. Rehabilitation is the word that comes to mind. Karmic rehabilitation is going on. And there is the chance to really heal some super duper old stuff, like lineage kind of stuff. But again, it's up to you. Like, you can share and communicate as much as you want. There's also the High Priestess and Strength here in reverse. I'm going to take those two as well. I feel like this is one of those moments in life, this is one of those relationships in life where you can sense that, like, this is some really, really deep work. This is some old stuff. This is very karmic. And it can be really worth it to keep sticking it out and to keep putting in effort and to keep being patient and being compassionate and being loving and being kind and being helpful. But at the end of the day, you can step off anytime you want, you know. You can step off anytime you want. And there won't really be any negative repercussions. As long as you are not creating more karma by coming from a hurtful place, by saying things that will be deliberately hurtful towards someone. If you're coming from the correct place, which is, as I said before, from the position of the ultimate observer, as you're looking on the situation and you're reading everything, and you can really, if you've taken the time to actually like step back from it, step outside of your reactive pain body as things are playing out and really witness and observe things for exactly what they are. And if you're able to communicate that with clarity, with insight, with love and with compassion to this person that you're interacting with, to help them see themselves, you have the chance for both of you to break a huge karmic cycle that you've been in. But as I said, you're not really under any obligation. You can step off anytime you want. But if you feel like it's worth the effort because you just have that much unconditional love, then go ahead. But at the end of the day, self-love is the priority, as always. Self-love comes first. And that's what I'm saying. I'm really happy to see these two nines come out, the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Because it says to me that you do have that self-love, and that's why you can actually be in this position to witness what's playing out here and be the one to communicate it, because you've put in the work on yourself to be able to realize and witness from that place of self-love. And it's from that place of self-love that you can communicate what you're witnessing to this other person in the correct timing, with the correct language and with the correct energy, coming from a neutral, compassionate place, so that they can see something that they haven't been able to see yet. And that's the potential in this situation, is for you to help this person that you've had a long history with to see something about themselves that they haven't been able to see yet. And hopefully it will help them to heal. And you will also through that as well. Because there's a lot of stuff here, you know, like there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of forgiveness going on, and that's part of what you're doing by being able to hold that compassionate space and be in that clarity of heart and mind, and being able to describe what you're witnessing from the place of the ultimate observer. You are able to heal and reconcile and resolve, cleanse, purge, recalibrate and restore both you and this other person. It's really powerful energy here. But again, I'll say this one more time and I'll stop repeating myself. If the other person is not meeting you, feel free to step off. You don't have to keep bashing your head against a wall. Because if I'm seeing the High Priestess here in the Strength card in the reverse, and I feel like this could be the other person's energy. Like if they're still, and also the Death reversed, if they're still not ready to see this stuff, that's okay. Don't take it personally, and don't take it on. You're doing your work. They need to do their work. You can help them if you can, but don't do it from a place of arrogant, egotistical, oh, I can see this and you're doing this. It doesn't work. You can't do it that way. You have to be super compassionate, incredibly humble, and really kind, pure love. And it's hard to say these kinds of things with a really neutral, super loving, compassionate place. To bring those words out from a compassionate place. When you know that it's going to hurt that person, it can be really hard to bring it forth. That's what I'm saying. Like really carefully craft with the right words and choose the right timing to make sure that what you have to say can be received in the way that it's intended, which is from a place of loving kindness. And then be unattached to the result, because there's nothing you can do to force anything to happen. You can't force somebody to wake up. You can't force somebody to realize themselves. That's the point of self-realization. We can just help each other by gently nudging information in the right direction with the right intention and hope for the best. Okay, Taurus, that's your general reading. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and do another shuffle and lay another holographic mandala spread for your higher octave reading. That will give us a little bit more information on a higher vibrational level, spiritual level, to help us understand a little bit more about the karma. Although I feel like that was a pretty highly vibrational reading. But let's see what the Voyager deck has to say. Take a few deep breaths while I'm shuffling and send over your energy so that I can get really clear messages for you. Okay. 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Woman of Cups, crossed by the 4 of Cups, crowned by the 8 of Crystals, Ace of Worlds at the foundation, 4 of Crystals in the past, Ace of Cups in the future, all upright. Nice to see that. I love that. Time space, which is the world. You had the world in the previous reading. Where was that? Oh, there it is. So time space, Child of Cups reversed, Hierophant reversed, 8 of Worlds reversed, 10 of Crystals, Fool, 9 of Wands, and the Moon. Okay. Again, mixed bag here, but I'll go into this in more detail in the higher octave reading. But just to give you a little bit of what's going on here, what I'm feeling is that, well, first of all, there's 2 aces. There are 2 eights as well. There's a few major arcana cards in here. But in general, the feeling is it's almost a reversal. It's almost like the first reading was the higher octave reading, and this reading is kind of more it's more talking about what's going on in the mundane world. But basically, it's saying that, at the foundation, you've got the Ace of Worlds in the upright position, and at the crowning card, you've got the 8 of Crystals, which is called Synthesis in this deck. The center of the reading is the Woman of Cups, crossed by the 4 of Cups, which in this deck is called Anger. So through this central axis of the reading, what I'm seeing is that, in essence, your energy is kind of doing good. Like, you've put a lot of work in to manage and maintain and recalibrate and restore your own energy. So you're at the Ace of Pentacles where you've been through the ringer, you've been through a lot, but you're back at like feeling clear and with a fresh kind of physical energy, ready to take on the task ahead. Woman of Cups in the center of the reading says to me that you have, again, taken care of business as far as your emotional body. It has been difficult, but you are looking at things in the right way, and you're feeling, your sensations are coming from a clear place where, again, like I said it before in the previous reading, you're coming from the place of the ultimate observer, where you're able to invoke your own compassion and like a higher vision on the situation, so that you can come from a place of real understanding, of real unconditional love. But being that we're still human, the crossing card here is the Four of Cups, which in this deck, as I said, is called anger. So your challenge is to overcome and manage the feelings, and overcome the need to like feel like you want to lash out and communicate things hurtfully because you've been hurt, and just like set aside and look at things from a bigger picture, from a higher octave, and channel that unconditional love so that you can help this person see something that they have not yet been able to see. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'm going to go into more detail in the higher octave reading. Thank you, Taurus, for sharing this space with me. It means a lot. You got this. Sending a lot of love. We'll see you in the higher octave reading. The link will be below in the description box.